You ain't doing yourself any favors here, Fox. State regime media known as Fox is flailing as they try to cover up the Trump regime's leak of highly classified, the most classified type of information war plans on text threads where they invited the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic accidentally. The cover-up is getting worse and worse by the minute and more pathetic in showing just how demented and evil and stupid some of these Trump regime people are. So let me show you what's going down on Fox. So you have Laura Ingraham saying, this is just like the hoaxes of the past. This is just some sort of, overall attack on conservatives like we saw before. No, it isn't. Here, play this clip.
I was thinking about this. I've been in Washington a long time. This is all a sad repeat of what Republicans have been dealing with since around 1987. Yeah. I worked in the Reagan administration in 1987. From the Bork hearings to Iran-Contra to the Russian collusion to the myriad anti-Trump hoaxes, Charlottesville, January 6th. It's one long slash and burn campaign. Democrats didn't really care about any of the underlying issues involving any of those stories. They cared about gaining a political advantage.
Then you have Jesse Waters, one of the Fox propagandists, go, and no one outside of D.C. even cares about this anymore. Here, play this clip.
Well, this is like Trump throws 20 touchdowns in a row and he finally throws a pick six. And that's what everybody wants to talk about. And the only way you get people to stop talking about it is you throw another touchdown. Now, I don't know what that's going to look like, but he's got to throw another touchdown, and he's got to throw it fast. No one outside of D.C. and in the news business really cares about this story. Mm-hmm. There's no video. There's no sex. There's no fraud. No one even knows what a Houthi is. People know who bin Laden is. People know what ISIS is. No one knows what a Houthi is.
As we said on the MeidasTouch account, from Jesse Waters' pathetic spin attempts to the try-hard chyrons, things are very sad over at Fox. Then you had this guy, Will Cain, who's trying to be the next Jesse Waters over at Fox. Here he goes, look, what this really taught us is that there really aren't as many yes men and lackeys in the Trump administration. There are people who are really showing that they disagree with Donald. These messages were great for the administration. Play this clip.
You and I have been told for years that President Trump surrounds himself by yes men, lackeys. But now, through this leak and inadvertent transparency, you see a team not just of disruptors, but of rivals with thoughtful deliberation, with authenticity, who they are privately or who they are publicly.
It's the most ridiculous, dumbest, non-believable spin. This would make Kim Jong-un's propaganda networks and Putin's propaganda networks blush. Then you have Jesse Waters goes, look, people leak stuff all the time. This is DC. Leaks happen. So here they accidentally leaked it. So what's the difference between a leak and an accidental leak? Here, play this clip.
Hours ago, Democrats thought they had the scandal of the year, and now it's over. Officials leak to reporters all the time. This time they accidentally leaked to a reporter. It was a mistake. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
They're just throwing mud on the wall and seeing what sticks, and none of the treasonous, fascist, traitorous stuff is sticking. All right, bring on Josh Hawley, Mr. Fist Bump before the January 6th insurrection, who scurried out like a pathetic, scared coward when things got real with the insurrectionists he invited into the Capitol on January 6th. And Howley's like, let me tell you what I know, okay? Clearly, we're done here. Case closed. Case closed. Ha 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 ha. Play this clip.
It was a mistake, and you think everybody's been held accountable and owned it?
Listen, I thought that the National Security Advisor was clear about this yesterday. The president was clear about it. Some staffer who apparently set up the group chat, I assume that person probably won't be in charge of meetings anymore. At the end of the day, this strike was successful. There was no classified material out there. The strike was not compromised in any way. America is safer today because of the actions that President Trump took. The libs can't complain about that. So here we are. I would say case closed.
And I don't like how they keep asking, was Hegseth drinking? I mean, the last defense secretary was AWOL. He was getting surgery at hospitals and didn't tell anybody. The commander in chief was AWOL. He was a
I mean, they're just arrogant pieces of crap. I don't know. I know we don't like the name calling. I just, when I watch a clip like that and we're talking about war plans that are being leaked, it pisses me off because they're engaged in this all the time, and how much of our classified information is now in the hands of our enemy. I mean, yesterday we knew 4 Americans died. 4 American soldiers died in Lithuania, and Trump knew nothing about it and seemed not to even give a crap about 4 American soldiers dying in Lithuania. And so you've got Pete Hegseth. If you see him in the interviews, he does like these like weird facial gestures, cause he does like his like tongue in his cheek and like, I don't even know what he's doing while American soldiers are dying and Trump's not mentioning it all as they're crashing the economy. So occasionally the emotions will get the better of me and I will name call these idiots, just occasionally, but I'll try not to do name calling. You're right. Here, Josh Hawley says, what are these reporters all really excited about? Who cares? Who cares about any of this? Here, play this clip.
That his actions were absolutely justified. It's making us safer. It's keeping our ships safe. It's keeping America safe. And the libs can't contest any of that. And so now they're fussing about the fact that who was on the text chain and who wasn't. What these reporters are really mad about is that they weren't on the text chain. They all wanted to be and weren't. Who cares? It was a huge success.
Then you've got MAGA Republican Senator Mike Lee, who's like, the press, they're getting really aggressive. They're getting meaner than I've ever seen. They're acting with a sense of urgency now. Why are they doing this? MAGA Republican Senator Mike Lee, an embarrassment to Oklahoma and America. Play this clip.
The feeding frenzy of the liberal Capitol Hill press corps, which are not just liberal reporters, they're liberal political activists.
Yeah, explain how that's
lobbyists.
changed in your mind. You mentioned it during the break, commercial break, that it's a change in the way they're acting. They were always liberal, but what's happening now?
They're more aggressive now. They're not just asking questions of senators. They're following people down the hall. They're shouting out things. They're speaking with a sense of urgency that reveals a complete lack of journalistic objectivity. Make no mistake, Laura, these people are activists.
All right, Senator, great to see you as always.
And then here, Mike Lee, tell me if what he's saying, it's a mountain of non sequiturs. It just literally sentences garbled together. He's like, look, when you enter a Signal chat, it's like a skiff, except it's a Signal chat. It's not like you're putting it on a newspaper with the classified info. What are you talking about? You're sending classified war plans in text messages that should happen in sensitive compartmented information facilities. Play this clip.
So how that can violate the law is a separate question independently of who has
They're
standing.
hanging on some DOD 2023 memo that said Signal can be, I guess, intercepted or it can be hacked or it's not totally secure.
Sure, but look, you enter into a Signal chat, just like you enter into a secure facility called a SCIF to receive a classified briefing. If you enter that believing correctly that it's secure and it's not, that's not the same as just advertising something on the front page of a newspaper that happens to be classified.
No, I think you don't need intent for one of those steps.
No.
The Espionage Act, you don't need intent, correct? Like that's what they were hanging it on Hillary Clinton.
Right, but
I was hanging it on Hillary Clinton.
In this circumstance, they were, as Eric Schmidt was noting a few minutes ago, this is unfortunate. So there were some mistakes made. But that is very different than saying that this is
How about having a private server in your basement, knowing that that server was going to be used for government information and 47 pieces of CIA information was on that server?
That's right. Between that and Secretary Austin going missing and the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, the feeding frenzy of the liberal Capitol Hill press corps, which are not just liberal reporters, they're liberal political activists.
Yeah, explain
and
how that's
lobbyists.
changed in your mind. You mentioned,
but just don't you see here that if this is where they're going with this, they will say and do anything. There are no depths to this depravity. The depths of depravity, it's bottomless. Here, Jesse Waters, then he has his thesis. He goes, if this was an Al Jazeera reporter, they accidentally put on the group text, but this is Jeffrey Goldberg, a scumbag. Play this clip.
It's not a big story. If this was an Al Jazeera reporter, they accidentally put on the group text, yeah, but it's Jeffrey Goldberg, who's a real scumbag.
This attack on Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, who Mike Walls, the national security advisor for the Trump regime, put Jeffrey Goldberg on the text thread. It's like Jeffrey Goldberg didn't want to be on the text thread, but then they're like, he's a scumbag. Look at this scum, this sleaze, this scum, this piece of crap. Look, Jeffrey Goldberg didn't want to be on the thread. But don't you see that they're also trying to set this up to like go after Goldberg for crimes? Like that's the natural progression of where this thing is going. Oh, no. And they bring in Alina Habba, who now the Trump regime has appointed to be the top federal prosecutor in New Jersey. And what does she say? She's the most pathetic, worst lawyer in like the United States of America. I mean, she like lost almost all of Trump's cases, got sanctioned. The judges like laughed at her. She didn't even know how to cross-examine anybody, like a real pathetic individual. And then here she's like, this is a hoax. This is a distraction. Here, play this clip.
And that is really the sum of it. You want to talk to me about Doge. You want to talk to me about what's happening with this signal nonsense where they're communicating high-level people. Maybe a mistake was made, but at the same time, I'll tell you one thing, there was high-side communications that were proper, that were done correctly, and nobody here got hurt, A. B, they were allowed to do it because there was no classified information. But you know what this is, Sean? It's the same thing we've been talking about for 4 years. It's a hoax. It's a distraction. It's the same thing they did when they said Biden had no cognitive decline, absolute garbage. And they're going to continue to do it in this administration. Why? Because we're winning. Because we're winning and we're successful and we're going to keep hitting hard for the American people.
Again, I don't care what political party you're from. Like we as human beings should watch that and we should just cringe and be like, yo, these people are insane. These people are psycho. These people are dangerous. They're nutcase. I mean, choose your fighter in terms of the word, but like, that shouldn't be a partisan thing. Like, I'm watching craziness right here. Then here, Alina Habba goes, I am Trump's agenda first. I'm his agenda. Play this clip.
We have Camden, New Jersey. I can go on and on and on, but I will tell you one thing. I am America first. I am President Trump's agenda first. And that is what America wants. We don't want crime. We want to be able to walk through Newark, walk through and not be afraid in Camden. And that has not happened in the great state of New Jersey. That is my hometown. I am so excited to go in and be given this opportunity by President Trump. He really, honestly, he gave me such a gift in this role and I'm ready and I'm going to fight like hell.
You are his agenda? What are you even talking about? Oh, and then now she's the top federal prosecutor of New Jersey. And here she goes. Unfortunately, we're home in New Jersey to Newark. Oh, you don't like Newark, Alina Habba? Play this clip.
New Jersey has been neglected. New Jersey is rampant with crime. We are unfortunately home to cities like Newark, New Jersey with MS-13. We have immigrants who are being harbored in sanctuary cities. That will no longer happen when I'm there. We have Camden, New Jersey. I can go on and on and on, but I will tell you.
Just overtly racist individuals also. Like, what the hell is going on? And then Jesse Waters says that if he was included in a group text by accident, he would have left the chat. So it's Goldberg's fault. Play this clip.
Biden, if he had put me on a text and it was like Binder and all of his political people, I would have stayed on there for 4 years. And then October surprise, my book drops, I would have made a fortune. But if Austin and Sullivan and some of his top national security people accidentally put me on a group text on Signal and talked about airstrikes in the Mideast, I would ease my way out of that group text, talk to Fox lawyer, and I would not say a word. I am an American before a news guy. I don't want to get involved in anything when it comes to national security. But this guy did. That's fine. Nothing's going to happen, though, because the Republicans control everything in D.C. It's not like they're going to prosecute anybody. So this is going to go nowhere.
I do want to give a hat tip, though, to Jennifer Griffin. She is the Fox national security correspondent who's basically been sidelined by Fox. I mean, she's out there posting, but you don't she would be the natural person, right? Who you would see on Fox to deal with a national security issue. But they're kind of hiding her right now, but she's posting. And I got to get Jennifer Griffin there's Jessica Tarlov, who I think is great, pro-democracy fighter, and she's on Fox. Jennifer Griffin is a fair reporter, probably the only other fair reporter on Fox. She's well respected. She doesn't pull punches. She says some things I disagree with sometimes, but she's real. Here's what she posted today. So don't take my word for it. Take the national security correspondent of Fox word for it. Jennifer Griffin goes, there is a debate about whether the operational details Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared in the Signal group chat were classified or not. So I surveyed a range of current and former U.S. defense officials who agreed war plans is actually not the right term, but what was shared may have been far more sensitive given the operational details and timestamps ahead of the operation, which could have placed U.S. military pilots in harm's way. Pause. In other words, it was more sensitive than even war plans. What Hegseth, this is what she continues to write, what Hegseth shared 2 hours ahead of the strikes were time-sensitive attack orders or operational plans with actual timing of these strikes and mentions of F-18s, MQ-9 Reapers, and Tomahawks. This information is typically sent through classified channels to the commanders in the field as secret, no foreign message. In other words, the information is classified and should not be shared through insecure channels. Attack orders or attack sequence puts the joint force directly and immediately at risk. According to former senior defense official number 1, it allows the enemy to move the target and increase lethal actions against U.S. forces. This kind of real-time operational information is more sensitive than war plans, which makes this lapse more egregious. According to 2 former senior defense officials, this information was clearly classified. According to former senior defense official number 1, the defense secretary can retroactively declassify information after the fact, but the fact that this was shared in real time before the strike took place makes it unlikely to have been declassified when it was being shared and seen by the journalist for The Atlantic, who was inadvertently included in the Signal chat. According to a second former U.S. defense official, when Hegseth says he didn't release war plans, that is pure semantics. These were attack plans. If you are revealing who is going to be attacked, Houthis, the name of the text chain, it still gives the enemy warning. When you release the time of the attack, all of that is always classified. And by the way, you can see right here, team update, time now, 11:44. This is the actual message. Weather is favorable. Just confirm with CENTCOM. We are a go. 12:15, 13:45, 14:10, 14:15. Strike drones on target. More F-18s launched. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window. I mean, it goes through literally the targets, where the targets are. You could read it for yourself. But now what the Trump regime's influences are saying is they're going, The Atlantic is calling it attack plans, not war plans. So you see they're backtracking right there. And just so you see how while all of this is going on, what the Trump regime is doing to distract as well, they have their Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, engage in this desperate stunt, going in front of individuals in the El Salvador prison while she appears to be wearing a $60,000 Rolex. We looked at this Rolex. That seems to be the watch that she's wearing. And then she somehow connects the people in El Salvador behind her to terrorists in the United States. And we know that the Trump regime has been kidnapping migrants and sending them to concentration camps in El Salvador, people who are not gang members at all. Here's what she says. This is their new distraction. Hey, let's just focus on, these people in El Salvador. Play this clip.
We're at CCOT today and visiting this facility. And first of all, I want to thank El Salvador and their president for their partnership with the United States of America to bring our terrorists here and to incarcerate them and have consequences for the violence that they have perpetuated.
Hit subscribe. That's what's going on in Fox. We're going to keep you posted every step of the way here, folks. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.